Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Purpose Lab. I am Marlon Vickers, and we in the lab tonight. I got some special people with me. We're going to be talking about the housing market. So as we jump into this podcast, if y'all have any questions, you can always drop them in the chat, and we can reach back out to you. But help me welcome my guests tonight. As they come on, they're going to tell you who they are, who they work for, and all that good stuff. Come on, Miss Jackie, you go first.
Okay, so I'm Jackie Johnson. I'm a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Showcase Properties, and I am excited to be here.
My name is Cody Stout, and I am a mortgage loan officer with Union Home Mortgage. So I look forward to talking with you about the housing market.
All right, so the first thing is we want to jump right into this thing. Tell me and tell my listeners what inspired you to get into the housing market and also the lending business. So I will go at Miss Jackie first, since you are a realtor and you deal with real estate. So what inspired you to get into the real estate business?
Well, I wasn't raised sitting around the table talking about equity and purchasing homes and building, wealth through real estate. So when I found out that information, I wanted to share it with somebody else. That's the main thing, because just going through this process informed, you can go through it with confidence.
Yeah. So Miss Cody, what got you into the lending business? What inspired you to want to be a loan officer?
Just the joy of helping people purchase their first home. Every closing's special, but it's something about that first time home buyer that may have thought they couldn't afford a home or get into a home, just helping them down that path to reach their goal of home ownership. It's so rewarding.
That kind of leads me to my next question that we're going to talk about. I mean, you really answered it, but we're going to talk about it in 1 second. What do you love the most about helping families purchase their homes? That's both of y'all, because both of y'all help families, whether you helping them with the money or Realtor Jackie, you bringing them to the house. So what gives you the most joy and the love about helping families when they purchase a house?
So I just like the process. When you see a buyer and they're asking you questions about where I should start, and then the light comes on, they're like, "Oh, I can do this."
Yeah.
Because now I feel like I have all the tools I need to make this decision. So at the end of it, like Cody said, when it's closing day, and they didn't know that they could do it, they didn't know they can get that far. That's the excitement that I get from that. It's amazing.
That's amazing. Miss Cody, tell me, what's your joy that you get out of helping somebody purchase a home?
Just getting to know them throughout the process, because it can sometimes take a while looking for a home. So you really get to know the person. But when you get to closing and the joy, and because they're like, I didn't know I could do this. And it's a huge accomplishment. And it's just so special to get to be a part of that. And you get to know the families, and then they'll come back maybe for a refinance down the road. So you really make those lasting relationships with them.
Yes.
So what are some of the trends that we are seeing right now in the local market, the housing market? What are some trends?
So, well, in regards to looking for a home, I feel like that's what me and Cody was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Is that buyers are getting pre-approved, but they're waiting. They're waiting just a little bit longer. And I think a lot of times it's more because they're nervous about interest rates.
Right.
And what I always say, like, marry the house and marry the house payment. Don't marry the interest rate, because the interest rate can go up or down while you're searching. But just if it's a comfortable payment, stay right there.
Yes.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Yes.
So if I was getting ready to buy a house right now, what would be the first thing that I need to do before I buy a house?
So I'm going to send a buyer to Cody, because a buyer needs to know how much house they can afford.
Right.
You go ahead, Cody.
Yes. Come to me and get pre-approved. That would start with, getting your credit pulled, looking at the income, assets, if you've got money saved up for a down payment, trying to find the right program that fits your need. And, everybody's needs are different. Somebody may need a little down payment or no down payment. Somebody may have 20% down. So the best thing to do first is get pre-approved. Then if you fall in love with the house, Jackie can make an offer with your pre-approval letter. It's more likely to be accepted.
So the first thing I would do is reach out to you, Jackie. And then once I need to reach out to Cody first before I even come talk to you.
Well, you know what?
I can find the house and I say, well, okay, I want to go talk to Realtor Jackie. This is the house I really want. And
so that's what I don't want you to do, is find the house. I don't want you to start looking.
Okay.
Because you fall in love with the house and then you find out that you're
You
not
can't afford
pre-approved
it.
for that
Yeah.
amount, you know. And then also, you know, you may be pre-approved, but the lender may not know about you know, the daycare bill or,
Yeah.
you know, the other things that needs to be taken into account as far as your finances. So you may be approved for 250, but 200,000 may be your sweet spot. So you don't want to start looking and falling in love without knowing how much home you can afford.
Yes, and what payment you're comfortable with.
And what payment you're comfortable with.
Yeah. Now that's very important because you need to know what payment you are comfortable with.
You do.
Yeah. You
Yes.
can't just go. I mean, you can go look at the house, but if you're not pre-approved and you know, that's wasting everybody's time. So
Yeah.
I think that would be good is to go talk to what I did was I went and talked to my bank first and say what I'm approved for. And then once I found out what I was approved for, and then I went, and found what I needed. But that was the process I did. And I assumed that would be the right process. Like you see how much you pre-approved first so you'll know what you can buy, right?
Yes.
If you pre-approved for $100,000 house, then don't go looking for a $200,000 house.
That's exactly
You
right.
can't afford it, right?
Because you're about to get disappointed. And what I have found, there are like different types of buyers, but then you have the buyer who has the itch to buy, but they're not prepared.
Yeah.
And then you have the buyer who's ready. They have that same itch, but they've been preparing. They've been saving money. They're talking to the lender. They're talking to their real estate agent. So the person with the itch and they're anxious, they'll try to move before the process, like the complete process. They'll try to it's almost like a puzzle. You can't put that middle puzzle and not build around it.
Right.
Right. So you have to have the right steps.
So before we get too far into this podcast, tell me about what is going on tomorrow. What are y'all doing tomorrow? Let's talk about that. What are y'all having tomorrow?
So we're having a home buyer, let me put free out there. Free home buyers workshop. Free tomorrow at 101 Executive Park Drive in Dothan. That's right next to Starbucks and Wingstop, across from Jim and Nick's, just to give you some places so you'll know where we are. And we have the burgundy roof, so you can't miss us. But it's at 11 a.m. tomorrow to 2 p.m.
And free lunch will be provided.
And giveaways.
Yes.
So
I should say Chardonnay roof. Sorry, not burgundy.
I wanted to put that out there before we got too far into it, but we'll talk about it.
Free.
Yeah.
And so we only have 45 minutes here, but we'll have 3 hours there. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all make sure y'all go out there tomorrow. If y'all looking for a house, you looking to buy a house, go see them. They're trusted people. They'll take care of you, all your needs, help you get a house, even get your house financed. So make sure tomorrow y'all go see them. So what some of the mistakes that new homeowners they make? Like what are some of the things they make? Like the biggest mistakes first homeowners or buyers make, like when they trying to go get a house. What do y'all see in the market? What are some things that they can do so that when they are looking for a house, they know, okay, don't do this, okay, don't do that, but I need to do this instead of doing that.
So actually, Cody, that's a better question for you because we can go down like the 10 commandments.
Yes. First thing, get pre-approved.
Right.
That's the most important. But once you're pre-approved, don't quit your job.
Don't
go buy furniture. Don't go buy the furniture for the house. Don't go inquiring any new debts, and don't quit your job.
And it was something that I did not know when I bought my first home, which you just said. They told me the same thing. Don't go buy nothing new. Don't go buy a new car. Don't go get a new loan. Don't go do this. Don't do that. And I was trying to get not a conventional loan. That's what I ended up getting. But I was trying to get what's the other?
FHA?
Yes, a FHA. And this was before me and my wife got married. And they was like, well, and I told them, I said, well, I'm getting ready to get married. It was like, well, we need her income, all her information too. And I was like, oh, really? I didn't even know that. So I was like, well, right now we just gonna do the conventional loan because I don't want to bring her in just yet. So I wanted to buy the house and then move her in. Yeah.
That's right.
And they wanted to get all her information on. I was like, no, not yet. But I didn't know that. I had no idea. Like a what is it? FHA loan? Yeah.
USDA.
What's the difference in those two loans?
USDA is no money down. It's going to be like outside of the city limits. Some houses kind of out there on the border might be eligible for USDA, but that's no money down. But USDA does account for all household income. So if you have a job, your wife has a job, but she's not on the loan, we have to look at her income as well because there are income limitations set by counties. So
And even
depending on
your children in the
children,
house that
yes,
have jobs.
they
Really?
do report that as well. Yes.
Mhm.
Household income, everybody in the house.
Everybody in the house. So you can
Everybody
make
in the
too much
house.
money and not get that loan.
Yes.
Mhm.
Even if you're right there at the limit, if you're over, you're not going to be able to get it. So it's important to know what type of loan you're pre-approved for as well.
In your opinion, what's the best loan to get? Like, is it the conventional loan, or what's the best loan you would?
Well, it really just depends on the borrower because everybody's going to have a different situation.
Right.
So if you've got more money down, conventional might be a little bit better. FHA is 3.5% down. So that's often a good option for a first time home buyer because they don't quite have the 5%. They may not qualify for USDA, but 3.5% down with FHA is often doable. And those programs do allow gift funds from relatives. So if you had, a family member that wanted to help you out, they do allow that.
Okay. Now that's something I didn't know neither.
That is good. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the interest rates looking like right now in the market? Are they,
Mm.
and we've talked about that before,
Yeah, we're in the sixes for sure. Like Cody was saying
Yes.
that she locked somebody in at 6.3 and then the one at 6.9. So they're like,
Yes. Yeah. It'll be, credit driven, of course. And
yeah.
the market rates do change, every day. They could have a pricing change during the day. So it's just kind of one of those things. When you get pre-approved, I like to go through what the best rate is right now
Uh-huh.
and then the payment. And I always tell my borrowers when you're shopping though, let me know what you find that you like and let's run that payment based on today's rate because it could go up.
Yeah.
if you're not locked in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
how
see, you
long
don't
does it
get locked in. You don't
Yeah,
get
how
locked
long does that last?
in.
Your lock in. Yeah. Like if I come tomorrow or Monday and you lock me in at the interest rate, how long does that last?
Once you get your contract, we lock you in usually 45
That's the
days.
key. Once you get your contract.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So once you get your contract,
yes, once you have the offer accepted, then the lender can lock you in. So I think that's one of the misconceptions. Like you see somebody else said this rate was 6.3 and I'm gonna go to the lender and get it locked in. If you don't have a contract in place, you're not locked in. It's it's just an estimated rate at that point because it could change.
That's right.
And this was something I learned. They told me that I had to get my credit right. So I sold the house and I paid all my bills. I paid everything that I owed.
All the history.
Yeah, and I was like, then when I went, they was like, well, now you don't have no proof or no way of us knowing. I was like, I can't win for losing. So I was like, okay, so now I got to get back in debt.
Did you have a real estate agent?
No, not then. I bought from my parents, so that was different.
Okay.
I bought. Yeah, that was different. I didn't go. I bought it from my parents.
Because I was just about to say.
Now I sold my house through a real estate agent.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't know you then. So had I known you then, hey, I would have let you sold my house. But
that's right.
When I found out, I was like, my credit should be good now. I said, I don't pay everybody that I owe. They was like, well, you should have kept some of it. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I said, you didn't tell me that part, but
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, don't go pay it all off.
Yeah, you gotta keep some debt, but you don't want to keep all your debt. Is that right?
Well, see, that's one of the things that I think the buyers now are more savvy. They're starting to do a little bit more research ahead of time. But you do have buyers that they have an assumption of how the process works. And so that's the reason why we do these home buyer workshops and have these shows, because there's just depending on how you were raised or how your family talked about money or how you talked about buying a house, or even if you've talked about buying a house. There's like this misconception of, okay, if my grandfather bought it like that or my mom bought her house like that, that's how it is right now. And so you just have to ask questions and don't leave all the assumptions out of it.
Yeah, that's true. So what are this is probably going to be for you, Jackie, because you go and show a lot of houses and you go do a lot of tours. What are some red flags that people should watch out for doing like a home tour? Like if you were showing the house.
I really like to show a house when it's raining. I advise buyers to
And why
drive
is
by.
that?
Well, so that you can see if there's any leaks in the house from the
There you
roof
go.
or, you
Yeah.
know, any plumbing. Like you can see a lot of stuff when it's raining. But
Yeah.
also I advise buyers to like drive by the neighborhood. We as real estate agents, and we can't say, oh, this neighborhood is better than this neighborhood, because that's that's subjective.
That's the preface.
So yeah, that's a preference. So you drive by in the daytime, drive by when school's in, school's out, drive by at night. And so see how you feel about the neighborhood. But if there's any kind of like I always advise a buyer to get a home inspection. A lot of people like in 2020, 2021, when things were just flying off the market, the house was moving fast. They waived a lot of those contingencies. And your home inspection is like, that's priority. Like you need to know, like you may fall in love with the house because it looks pleasing to the eye, but you haven't seen up under the crawl space. You're not going to crawl on top of that roof. You don't know what's behind, some of those walls or, like in the attic space.
Yeah.
So that's why it's very important. Don't just fall in love with the house because of how it looks. You can fall in love, but you need to go ahead and get that home inspection.
My coworker he was selling his house, and the guy that was buying the house, they wanted him to pay for the home inspection.
Yeah, the buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the buyer normally buys.
No, the seller. Yeah, the buyer wanted the seller to pay for the inspection. And he's like, no.
It just depends on what's in that contract. I mean, everything's negotiable, but I can understand why a buyer probably wanted the seller to pay for it, because that would be a money loss if they walk away from the house. But the seller is probably like, if you want this house, you're going to pay for it yourself.
That's exactly what he said. He was like, if you want it, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. So this would be for you, Cody. What credit score do you really need to buy a home? Because I've heard, and see, I've talked to different people, and this lady, or this, I ain't gonna say lady, this person it wasn't a bank. They do mortgages, not through the bank, but they do like a mortgage company. And they started out with like 530. And I was like, well, the bank, I know you got to be at least 650, right? 640?
Well, it depends, because whenever we pull your credit, it's going to look at a lot of things on your credit score. But typically, maybe 580, but it may need a little bit more down. So it's definitely worth looking at if you have a lower credit score. Because a lot of people think it has to be, mid sixes, and that's not always true.
Well, that's what I thought. They had to be at least 630, 640, at least 650. But that depends on your the higher your credit score, does that mess with your interest rates and all too, right?
It can drive the interest rates and everything.
Yeah, if you got a 580, you can't expect interest rate at 4. I mean, that's
we all can't expect that right now.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but that is true though.
What's the sweet spot? The sweet credit spot, like score? What would you say?
Well, it just depends on the program too. Like USDA, it might need to be higher 600s. 680 and above. But FHA, you could get approved 650, 630, just depending on, what the credit looks like. And it's good for people to have like multiple lines of credit, like a vehicle payment, a revolving, because it shows you have like different pay options. You don't have just 10 credit cards.
Yeah.
You're paying on different types of credit. So things like that all factor into it.
What's the difference between I'm pre-qualified and I'm pre-approved?
You want
actually reviewing the documentation.
Yeah, pre-qualification is just what you put on that application, and pre-approved is now you're approving everything that you put in the application. So on the application, you might say, "Oh yeah, I make this and this and this," but the proof may say, "You make this."
Yes, and I think it's very important to get, your income and everything reviewed, because if you have overtime bonus, you want to make sure that you're able to use that to qualify.
Right.
Because if you make so much a month, but half of it's overtime and you can't qualify with the overtime, then the income would be not correct, which if not looking at pay stubs, it could cause an issue
Mhm.
if they go find a house they love and then they can't afford it.
Well, that's good to know because like a lot of people will use, they think their overtime is a factor. I mean, it plays a factor, but it's not the big factor because we looking at when you do a 40-hour straight week, how much do you make? Because you don't get overtime every week.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So it depends on your 40-hour work week. That would
Mhm.
depends on how much money you make.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that depends on would that depend on like the monthly payment? How do you calculate that? Like your monthly payment. If I got a loan at $100,000 and I buy a house at $100,000 and my credit
Mhm.
score is 650.
Well, your debt to income ratio. So how much income you have
Uh-huh.
based on how many debts you have. So we'll calculate that house payment in along with your other debts and divide it by your monthly income.
I got you. Yeah, because that was one thing they did tell me was like my problem was when I first did it, it was my debt to income rate.
Mhm.
My debt was higher than my income. So I had to that's why I ended up paying a lot of stuff off to get my debt down. And then once I got my
Mhm.
debt down, they was like, well, now your debt is too low.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I was like, God almighty. So I had to wait a little while longer. I was like, okay, but now I understand the process now, but I didn't
See,
know then.
experience
Yes.
will teach
Yes.
a
Yeah.
good lesson.
Yes.
And I always tell
Yeah.
people you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
for somebody stepping out to buy a home, a lot of times they don't even know the first questions to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole process and it's a process, but it's worth it.
Yes.
So what, like just say for a down payment, you have to pay 10% or 20%, or that just depends on your credit score as well. And
Well, like FHA,
Yeah. Go ahead.
3.5% down. So
Okay.
that's a
That's
good
not
one for
bad.
first time home buyers.
Oh
And
yeah,
And
see,
then
they,
also,
this is the reason why it's good to know ahead
yeah.
of time.
yes.
Because I have had buyers. They want to go through the process. They even have gotten pre-approved through the process, but they change. Like Cody was saying earlier, like don't get a car, don't open up this line of credit. They'll spend the money that they saved for the house, and so
Yeah.
now it's just like you know what I mean. It's like
Now you don't have no down payment money.
yeah. So yeah.
Let me see, I think I had like 10 grand to put down on my house.
Okay, big baller.
So,
Mhm.
what grant should the first home buyers look for? Because I know they have stuff out there for first home owned buyers, especially female first home buyers. I know because I've seen it. I've seen it.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
Are there female home buyers?
yeah, they are.
I'm
I
asking
saw them.
Cody. I'm asking
Oh,
the lender.
See, we work with a lot of down payment assistance programs,
Yes.
which will help you get your down payment. We see
A
those more
male or a
often than a
female,
grant.
right?
Yeah, anybody can do
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Yes, anybody can do those. Yes, you just gotta. Those do have certain credit requirements. Some of them may have income requirements. So
Yeah.
we kind of got to see which box you're going to fit in with that.
yeah.
But there's options for the down payment assistance. If you don't have the down payment, it's definitely something we can look at. So that's a good option as well.
Okay.
That's
And
right.
that's good. Yeah, that's good to know too, because if you're a first home owned buyer, you don't really. It's a lot of stuff you don't know. So
You don't know.
you have to know.
And that's why, having an entourage on their
Yeah.
side. Like you said, you went through a process, even just buying your parents' house. Even in that, a real estate agent could have helped. Just,
Mhm.
Yeah, because I didn't. There's
'cause
some stuff
you
I
had to
didn't
figure
know.
it
Yeah,
out.
I had
Yes.
to figure it out.
Mhm.
And this is a good one because this for both of y'all. Why is it important to have a buyer to have a realtor and a loan officer working together?
Because these two people are going to be with you from the beginning to the end of the process. Your home inspector is going to come in and do their thing.
Yep.
The appraiser is going to come in and do their thing, but your lender and your real estate agent is going to be there from the beginning of the process to the end. Especially local lenders. I love local lenders. I have just shameless plug because a lot of times you may have these online lenders and you may start off with one person and then end up with somebody else at the end.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's just important. Not saying that you can't purchase a house with other lenders, but local lenders.
Yes, and communication is key because if something comes up, you want your lender and your realtor to be able to communicate because
Right.
there could be an issue with the appraisal, something like that, title issue that the realtor is going to have to go back to that seller and try to work through. So you got to have somebody that's going to communicate from day one till past the closing.
Right.
And we communicate even, many times without the buyers even knowing what's going on. And that's the whole point, is we're trying to make the process as seamless as possible. Is it
Smooth as
perfect?
possible.
It may not be perfect or even easy, but as we're working through troubleshooting and working through problems so that that buyer is not scared to move forward, we're trying to solve problems without having to involve them in those conversations.
Yes.
So how long does the whole process take? Like once I've got approved, well, just say from the beginning, I come to you, Jackie, and I say, hey, I'm looking for a house. And we start looking for the house, and you say, or you may say, well, okay, Cody, I need to find out how much they got to get for a house. Once you figure out $200,000, okay, they can get $200,000 house for a house. And then I come to you and I say, okay, Jackie, this is what I want. I got $200,000. I've been pre-approved for a house. This is what I'm looking for. How long would that process take from me just telling you what I have and what we're trying to do? Just closing, out the door, closing, talking to the lawyer, signing all those papers, because you sit in that office and you sign. It's like you're signing your life away when at closing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a young buyer say that too. He was like, he started laughing while he was signing papers. I was like, why are you laughing? He's like, it just feel like I'm signing my life.
Signing my life away.
But he was
Brilliant.
happy. It was worth it. It
Yeah.
was worth it.
Yes.
It's a big purchase. It's not something so to go back to your question, it just depends. Because if you have one buyer might see a house and they know exactly what they want and they want to put an offer in on that house. Or you may have the buyer who needs to see 20 houses. I've gone several weekends, several weeks showing houses, and I have some buyers who still haven't seen, haven't found their house. So it really just depends. Now I can tell you, like, after the offer is accepted, that can go from 30 to 45 days easily. Sometimes even less time than that. But I think some of my buyers are probably some of my greatest friends, because we have searched, we've talked about, like Cody said earlier, you get a chance to build relationships. Like, you're with this person.
Yeah.
They get to know you, you get to know them, you start knowing the kids' names, the pets' names, everything. So yeah. So it just depends.
So between, just say average 30 to 45 days, out the door.
Yes.
From accepted offer to closing.
Yeah, from accepting the offer. Now, I'm not saying like when I call like, hey, I need a house, and then you take me to this house. No, I don't like that house. Then we go to 20 different houses. That may take forever. But I'm just saying, like, once you find the house you want,
you find the house,
and once you find the house, and then we go start making the process, it takes about 30 to 45 days.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But we want to get you closed as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
Yes, we want to get you in that house as soon as possible. Make it as easy as we can for you.
Yeah, that makes sense too, because you don't want to keep lagging out and all that kind of stuff. What are some surprises have you seen for buyers the most when closing the house? Like, some things that just popped up, like a surprise that you didn't know or they didn't know about? Have y'all seen that before?
A surprise they didn't know about? Like, I don't know.
Maybe something was hidden that they didn't. Something popped up.
Yeah, well, things like in the home inspection, possibly.
Oh, that too.
There's some things hidden there, or I want to say this. We may get to the process of putting in the offer and getting the offer accepted, and then actually closing on the house. And one of the unexpected things that some buyers may not be prepared for is the expenses of upkeeping this house. Like, even the taxes and the insurance and all of those things, but just actually having money to prepare for it. Like, you may get this house, but the HVAC may, it may go out. So I think that's one. It's unexpected if you don't have a real estate agent to tell you that these are the things, and your lender is going to tell you that too. Like, this, yes, you need this money for the house, but this is what you need to have post purchase. So, I mean, in appraisals, sometimes you have unexpected things with that, depending on the loan. They may, the buyer may ask for certain things in the home inspection, but the appraisal inspections are those inspections that's going to trump the home inspection repairs.
Right.
The appraisal repairs are the repairs that need to be done in order for that loan to pass. So that's sometimes unexpected too, because sometimes the buyers are so ready to go that they want to waive, like they think they can waive the repairs. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. But because you have a loan, the seller has to fix those things.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? That brings up a good point, because if I'm trying to sell my house and somebody come look at it and it's something, just say, I mean, this probably won't happen, but just say you found out that you had a roof problem that you didn't know about it until they came and inspected. You know, that's a surprise that you didn't know about, and that's something you got to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you one thing I did know. My toilet. You know how sometimes when your toilet runs when you're not there, that means that your the hand is running by itself when you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that until I had my when I got my home inspected, and it was like, you got to fix your toilet because it's because it was, while I was gone, it come on and off, and it was showing that I had a leak somewhere and I had to fix it.
I'm gonna tell you, I know that we're talking about home buyers, but I know for home sellers, I always recommend that they get a home inspection done to the house before they put it on the market, so they can know what they can start fixing some things before that, it hits the market.
And that's kind of where I was at in that stage. I was getting inspected before I actually put it on the market, and I found out that was one of my surprises, that it was something going on with my toilet that I didn't know about. So I had to fix that
I
before
bet you
could
that
even.
electric bill and that water bill was up.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That'll tell you too.
that's what I'm saying. But my water bill really wasn't up. It was still
it
the
didn't.
same. Yeah. So it just had a small leak and they found it, and it was like, well, you got to fix it before you sell your house. I was like, okay, well, that's no problem. I didn't know I had it, but now that I know, I'll fix it. But I think those are some surprises that people have too. You know, they find when you do your home inspection, you find out something that you didn't know that was going on because you really ain't been paying attention. But now that you're trying to sell it, everything stuff.
Everything.
Everything start. Yeah.
Yes.
So what are some good ways, Cody, that you would say people could improve like their credit score?
Make sure you're paying your bills on time.
That's the number one thing,
Biggest
huh?
thing. Yeah. Make sure you're paying your bills on time. And if you've got, credit cards, don't keep them maxed out.
Yeah.
Keep them at 30% of that max balance, because it really brings the score down if you have all your credit cards maxed out.
Yeah.
So,
Now, do you have something that you send people to, like, to build their credit up? Because when I was doing mine, they sent me to this. It was called the Self app, and it's like a debit card, credit card. And if I wanted to save like $500, okay, and I would put like $20 or $30 a month on there. Then once I get $200 on there, well, if I wanted to, I could spend that money because it's my money. But it's showing that I'm making payments on something, and my credit score was moving up. Yeah.
Yes.
It's called the self building app. I mean, self building. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can do it for like a year, and you can do like, I don't know, $500, $1,000, but you pay so much a month to them on that card, and it saves on that card, and eventually you get so much. It's like a credit card, then you can use it. I mean, it's your money. So
but you paying on it, and
you
it's
paying
giving
on it.
Yeah.
You paying on it. So that's
That's
another good app. If you didn't know about that one, I don't know if you have anything that you would tell like somebody that came in that had a score that needed to get up a little bit. That would be something that you could tell them to get, and it's free.
Yes, and we talk about what's bringing the score down, what we need to do to get it up, and kind of get a plan together. And of course, I always tell them, check with their local bank or credit union to maybe get a secured loan to start building their credit. But I go through the credit report to see where we're at and what we got to do to get to where we're going.
See, that's local lenders right there, because some lenders, you won't be pre-approved. You can't get pre-approved, and then they won't walk through what you can do to get that score up. So good lender.
And you don't know what you don't know. I've had several borrowers tell me that they didn't know because nobody told them.
That's right.
Like if you can pay something off and you can get that creditor to remove a late pay, it could help your score.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I've had some rough times with this stuff, man. They gave me this company, which was fine. They take all your credit, right? And, they send it to all the credit people that you owe, your creditors, and trying to get you with a clear debt. So they would send stuff saying, hey, you don't owe this, they don't owe this. It was a company that do that to try to get your credit score up. And I was paying them a monthly fee, and my credit score wasn't going up like I thought it should. And I could actually do it faster by what I was doing. So I ended up spending some money. I mean, it's a good program to do, but I wouldn't recommend that part to nobody because, I mean, you can, like you say, you can just make your payments on time. And I've learned in 30 days, your score will move. You know, if you make your payments on time, that next month, your score gonna go up. So, but you know, I don't know.
Experience.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
that was far as that credit building stuff. Yeah, I had to
But
learn
guess
the
what?
hard way.
But you're gonna be able to tell your kids all of your
Oh yeah,
experiences. What
yeah,
I mean, it wasn't for just for not. It's to let
yeah,
your kids know you don't have to go this route because I know a better way.
yeah. Right. Pay your bills so you don't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
another
right.
thing, I found out I had paid something off and they had charged it off. So I was trying to get the charge off, but it kept showing up on my credit. So I had to dispute it to try to get it off. And they would not take it off. It stayed on there until eventually it fell off.
Mm.
I was like, because I think after 7 years, it don't show or something like that. I think that's what the number is. 7 to 10
Yeah.
years, it won't. You can pull your credit and it won't show it on there. But
That's a
it was
long time.
paid off. Yeah, but it was paid off. I had paid it
Yeah.
off. I didn't. It was a charge off, but I had paid it. That was one thing that was stopping me when I was trying to get my house. They was like, well, it's still showing this, and they was like, well, you need to call them and tell them to remove it since it's paid for. And they was like, no, we can't remove it. I was like, so I had to dispute it until eventually it came off. But those are some things
And
that I learned.
a lot of people may not know what's on their credit
That's a
Yes,
fact.
that's true.
until their credit's pulled.
That's true.
So if it's somebody says, well, I don't really know what my credit score is, and they want to go ahead and apply because they may not know what their credit score is. They may qualify now, or we might have to look at some things. But, a lot of people don't know what is on their credit report or what their score actually is.
It's true.
Explain to the people what is a soft pull and a hard pull because I know some people don't know.
Well, with the mortgages, we are going to do, it's a hard pull.
Yeah.
And we're going to pull in all three bureaus.
Uh-huh.
So your Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, those scores could differ depending on what's reporting to each creditor. So it is a hard pull on your credit whenever you get the mortgage loan because we're going to look at all three bureaus. Whereas like if you were, shopping for a vehicle or something, they may not look at all three bureaus. They may just do like a soft inquiry. But yes, we do a hard pull on your credit so we can look at all three bureaus to get your full credit picture, which it works out because we use the middle of the three scores to qualify you.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do y'all did you average them or do you pick like the highest one?
It'll be the middle one.
The middle one. Okay. That's what I was going to ask you. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because like I said, that's some things people don't know. They don't know what a soft pull is and what a hard pull is. I know now, but I didn't. The soft pull is, help me out. Make sure I'm telling you. I don't want to tell nobody no lie. Because a soft pull is they don't pull everything, but the hard pull, they get down to the nitty gritty, to the teeth and the nail.
Right. That's right.
And a soft pull it don't hurt your credit as much as a hard pull does.
It depends.
I mean, that's a myth that I was told, and I don't know if that's true or not. You know more about it now. This is your expertise.
Yes, and you know what?
Just don't have it pulled. And if you're trying to buy a house, just focus on the house. Don't pull for appliances and refrigerators and microwaves and all of that stuff. Lawnmowers.
Because all of those inquiries could bring that score down. If you go buy appliances, buy a car, get all these other pulls, then we're going to see those inquiries. And then if you're like, oh yeah, I did buy a car, it's just not on my credit yet. Then we got to add it to the liabilities.
That's what people really need to know when they say, hey, don't buy this, don't do that, is because when you buy it, you have to add it to your debt to income rate now. So
that's right. That's right.
You may be at the borderline of your debt ratio, and then you buy something, it puts you up over the debt ratio. Now you got to figure out
what
you're
disappointed.
Yeah. Now you can't get your home that you was trying to get.
You may not be able to get it at that point.
At that point, but yeah, eventually you will. Yeah. So that's good. So as we get ready to close out here in a few minutes, what's the best advice that you can give to the first homeowner? Buyer, I say buyer. If somebody that's coming off the street say, hey, I want to buy a house, what is the best advice you can give them?
I would say know your numbers, know the reason why you're wanting to buy, Don't try to buy because somebody else has this or somebody else has that.
Uh-huh.
Know what you have, know what you can do. That pre-approval, like talking to some people, the real estate agent and your lender, those are important people to talk to from the very beginning because we're going to be there to the end as well. We ain't leaving.
Yes, yes. Be stuck with us.
They can be stuck with us.
Cody, what is some advice that you would give to a first time buyer?
Don't be scared to start the process
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we're here for, to walk you through it. I think some people are hesitant to apply
Uh-huh.
because they may think it's just easier for me to pay rent every month. I can't afford a house. But in today's market, a lot of times, if you can afford rent, because we all know rent has really skyrocketed, you could probably afford a house, and they wonder what the credit has to be and stuff, but it's not things that we can't look at, and talk through and work through. So I would just say don't be scared to ask questions, and it's worth it to walk through the process.
Yeah, and it's also just worth it to know if that process is for you. Because some people, if they're not planning on being in one place, like renting may make sense. You just got to figure out buying is not for everybody you just got to figure out what's important to you.
That's a fact. What are some of the biggest mistakes that first time homeowners make?
Just looking before knowing, what the process is.
Yes.
Starting to look at homes and wanting to see homes without knowing how much they can afford. I think our goal is to make sure there's not a letdown. If we can give you some knowledge, whether you're buying today, next month, next year, 2 years from now, like you keep in contact with us, we're going to be there to kind of help you navigate this market or navigate whatever that current market is when you purchase your home. So don't try to do it by yourself. Some people, yes, you can do it by yourself if that's what you want to do, but it's so much fun to actually have a whole team of people that have your best needs, at heart.
That makes sense too, because you're not really. I like what you said that we're gaining a new family member. This is what it is.
Yes.
Because once you get the house, you be like, "Hey, come on, let's go get something to eat."
Yeah, yeah. It's a relationship for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. You
It
can come
is.
to the open house when they had the open house. You be like, "Come on, let me bring
That's right.
something."
That's right. And
What
it's nothing like having people behind you. Like they're pushing. We're not going to push you to purchase anything, but once you tell us that's what you want to do, we'll
Yeah,
provide the steps for you.
Cody, what are some biggest mistakes you've seen in the home market that first homeowners buy in your like far as the loan office go?
I think make sure that you're going to be comfortable with your payment because, sometimes they may have went online and played with a mortgage calculator before they called me,
I've done that before.
but they didn't think about, well, I have to escrow homeowners insurance and property taxes. And so what you thought was a $400 a month less payment, that was never really the payment, and then that could lead to disappointment. So I think it's better instead of, playing on the mortgage calculators to call and say, hey, what would a payment look like on this house?
Yes.
Because if you love the house, but you don't love the payment,
You're going to be mad at us. You're going to be mad at us. You're going to
because
be
we want to
mad.
make sure that you're doing what's
Yeah.
best for you, for your situation,
Yes.
Yeah, that escrow. Yeah, you said something then. I know about all that homeowner insurance. You gotta have all that, and most people don't realize I want a home, but you gotta have money saved because something could happen, and you gotta pay for it because it's your home now. So
Something
you
will
gotta,
happen. It's just
yeah.
if you're going to be prepared when it does happen.
Yeah, that's a fact right there. You got to be prepared when it happens. Yeah, so I think all that is good advice for people, to know that, hey, before I buy a home, I need to first find out what can I get approved for before I waste Realtor Jackie's money, time and effort trying to find my home and I don't even know what my credit score is. You ever had somebody that had bad credit and they knew it and they just took you looking for houses?
No, because I'm not that realtor. We're going to talk about those things up front. We're going to talk, but I have had buyers who had me looking like they went through the pre-approval process, couldn't find a home, and they decided to rent. So, it just really depends. it happens.
Yeah.
You know, it
definitely
happens. It's part of the job. But we're trying to do as much leg work ahead of the game before they get in the game, basically. You know what I mean? So it's a mindset for sure.
That's good. So tell the people one more time where they can meet y'all at tomorrow before we get out of here, so they won't forget.
Cody.
Go,
Homebuyers Workshop tomorrow at the Berkshire Hathaway office at 101 Executive Drive.
Executive Park Drive. Free homebuyers workshop.
I was going to say, what is the most important part? It's free.
Free homebuyers workshop, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., 101 Executive Park Drive in Dothan, right by Starbucks. You can get your coffee.
Get your coffee.
And let's talk about purchasing. Whether you are ready now or you're getting ready later, it's going to help you.
Yes. And it's free.
And there's giveaways. And there's food.
Giveaways and lunch, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Some lunch.
That's always a plus.
Giveaways. And you can come bring your questions.
Yes.
You know.
We got answers. Yes.
They got answers. I promise you, they got all the answers you need. You just got to show up.
Show up.
That's right, just show up.
So before I get out of here, I got to let the people know that this episode was sponsored by Vive Press. They do all of my cups and they do all of my shirts and stuff, my merch. So you can go to vivepress. They're sponsoring my episode on tonight, and I'll drop the link in the chat so people can go and click on their website and check them out. So as we get out of here, I want people to remember your story matters. Your gifts matter.
Yes.
And your purpose matter. Hey, this is the Purpose Lab. You with Marlon Vickers, where we're helping people discover their life and why they were created. I pray you've had a good time today as we have dived into what you need in the market to get a house, the do's and the don'ts. So, hey, if you want to check us out, go to iHeartRadio, look for the Purpose Lab. Go to Spotify, look for the Purpose Lab. Go to Apple Podcasts, look for the Purpose Lab. We in there. YouTube, all those streaming platforms, you can go find the Purpose Lab. I got all kind of episodes on there already. And matter of fact, this is episode like 18 or 19. So, hey, go check them out. Let us know. Thank all of you for listening and being part of the Purpose Lab. Till the next time we see you again in the Purpose Lab, have yourself a good night. Peace.